Good evening. The time is 7:30. It is Tuesday, March 26th. I'm calling the school committee meeting to order. I would like to remind everyone that we are recorded live on WMCT-TV for rebroadcasting. I would like to now start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone could please rise. Thank you.
Harold was just ready to go. He was ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So we'll move on to presentations. So we have the Marlborough High School Student Advisory Committee. So you guys want to come on up. If you want to just state your name and give us your little report.
All right. Hi, my name is Carolina Cartes. I am the student representative for the class of 2025, and I am going to be talking about Panther periods. So just really quickly, what is a Panther period? A quick definition, a Panther period is an opportunity for students to receive academic help. There are multiple reasons students use Panther periods as their first choice for academic help. Some examples being that students may be unable to stay after school or come in before school. Many high school students have busy schedules due to work or sports or family situations. Teachers are unavailable outside of school hours, and also the advantage of being able to work with your peers. I wanted to take this opportunity to express how crucial and beneficial Panther periods are. High school students are busy both in school and outside of school. Being able to provide students with a block of time dedicated to boost their academic success is not only beneficial for the students, but also the school as a whole. With this being said, Panther periods can also be seen negatively, mostly by teachers that teach electives, specifically art teachers. They often find Panthers to be unbeneficial. For these teachers, Panther days take away from their regularly scheduled classes, with classes like ceramics, where you need every minute you can get to be able to work on your artwork. There's classes like media arts, where it is easy to shave off a couple minutes. Also cooking, where it is required to have a large block of period of time to be able to work on your cooking. Although this isn't a major issue, teachers can still work around it and fix their schedules around it. I believe a solution should still be set for future years. Panther periods are meant to happen on a weekly basis with few exceptions. I believe that rather than setting a strict calendar on the weekly Panther schedule, there should be a strategized schedule for them. For example, at the end of Term 2 for the 2023-2024 school year, there was an obvious lack of Panther periods scheduled. The end of the term was rapidly approaching, and many students from all grades were struggling to find the time in which they could receive academic support. To fix this issue, more Panther periods should be added at the end of each term rather than a strict weekly setup. If Panther periods are to be expected at the end of each term, which is usually when elective teachers aren't likely to start a new project, then teachers can plan their schedules accordingly for all students. The Panther period calendar for the 2023-2024 school year, in comparison to the one from the 2022-2023 school year, is a great improvement. In the 2022-2023 school year, there was a lack of Panther periods, with most of them being utilized for class meetings or clubs that needed to meet with their students, and it would take away from the academic support that students could receive. This year, there was an obvious change, and students are given the opportunity to use their Panther periods to seek academic support from their teachers or even just their peers. As a representative of the student body, I believe it is important to shine a light on problems that seem insignificant to some. I believe that changing the schedule and continuing to improve it through the following years will help the students that come in the future, since yes, it has improved, but I believe there is still an improvement that can be made to benefit both students and teachers. Any questions?
Thank you.
Oh, actually, I have a question. Do you talk to Dr. Riley about this?
So I have had conversations with many faculty, not Dr. Riley specifically. I just told him about what my plan was. He really liked it. He did say that This was a couple months ago, so I can't really remember. But he did like the idea of fixing up the schedule because he does agree that there is a lack of Panther periods sometimes, or an excess of. So, I mean, I am also very willing to work with him to figure out a better schedule since it's very clearly needed.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catalina.
Hello, everybody.
Hi,
My name
Atul.
is Atul Mador, and I'm the sophomore SSC representative. This evening, I would like to share with y'all our robotics first home competition. 2 months ago, on January 13th, the robotics club hosted our first competition at the high school. Usually, we have to travel to other schools for our competitions, but this year, we are very proud to host our first competition. Our competition day, stretching from 7 in the morning to around 4 in the evening, was packed with excitement and energy. We welcomed approximately 18 teams from various schools, making an intense and thrilling event. What made this competition particularly special was the fact that it was hosted right here at Marlborough High School. Usually, we find ourselves traveling a little bit long to some competitions, and it can kind of get a little annoying. This competition venue was divided into 3 key areas: the pits, the games, and the skills. The pits, which we set up in the cafeteria, served as a hub where teams can put their equipment, make necessary adjustments to their robots, and meet in between matches with other teams. In the game area, the main event unfolded as teams faced off each other in thrilling matches. In this game, called Over Under, there are 60 triangle-shaped balls, and depending on which side of the field they're on, gives that many team points. Additionally, there's a goal, where if you put this ball under the goal, you get an extra 5 points. Most of these balls are not originally on the field, but in a bucket where you have to introduce them through the match. My favorite part is at the end, where robots have to hang, and depending on how high they are, you get more points. Each team plays 6 2v2 qualification matches, and at the end of it all, elimination matches where 16 teams advance to a bracket-style elimination. For this part of the competition, we used the field house and set up 2 fields around 12 feet by 12 feet each and had a nice stand so that viewers could watch. At the end, 2 of our teams made quarterfinals, and 1 team made semifinals, but lost to the upcoming winners. Even though we lost, we still qualified for regionals in the competition before. This year was one of our best, especially as we were ranked in the top 5 teams in the world. At our competition, there were skills, which provided an opportunity for individual robots to showcase their capabilities outside of these matches. Here, teams demonstrated how much their robot can do in 1-minute portions, 1 autonomous and 1 driver control. All in all, this competition taught us a lot about how to run smoothly and coordinate big events. We got amazing feedback from teams who very much enjoyed it, especially as it was a new competition venue. In the future, we plan on hosting more teams to allow for more times within matches, and increase our profit as much as possible. I'm excited to see what we can add to our competitions, like live streams and other add-ons. I also want to thank our advisor, Ms. Linton, for coordinating our wonderful event, as well as everyone else who helped, as well as a big thank you to Ms. Mahoney, who took us to regionals and helped us throughout the season. We can't forget about Ms. Klein, who really helped with our concessions, too. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Atul.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Atul.
Atul.
Any questions? Thank you.
Yay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Taylor Cronus, and I am one of the freshman representatives here on SAC. Tonight, I am going to talk to you about a group I'm a part of and a project that we recently completed with the Marlborough High School Nurse's Office. I was introduced to the Marlborough Juniorettes by one of my close friends, Emmy, Mrs. Ryan's daughter. The group is a branch of the Marlborough Junior Women's Club for girls in 8th to 12th grade. We focus on community service projects and give back to our community. During the first meeting I attended, the subject of feminine products at the high school came up. The feminine products that are supplied to the high school are not the most comfortable or inclusive to all girls. We wanted to come up with a solution to that problem. We started brainstorming ideas for this project, and I remembered August. August is a period product company that started out small on TikTok in January of 2020 and has grown so much ever since. August is eco-friendly and inclusive. Their products are compostable and water-soluble, and include products that accommodate to varying needs of all flow types. There are more interesting things about August, and I encourage you to check out the website, especially under their Impact and Sustainability tab. We decided that we were going to purchase a 3-cabinet drawer to put in the nurse. We decided how much of each product we needed based on price and how long we thought it would last. Before this, feminine products were in a box on the floor of the girls' bathroom. After starting this project, I reached out to August in an email asking if they did any partnership with schools. They responded quickly, informing me that they do offer wholesale for schools, and we ended up ordering a total of 192 tampons and 600 day pads from August, and printed out some informational posters that we hung up next to the cabinet. We also contributed 400 liners from BJ's. This project was funded through the sale of homemade dog treats at the Marlborough Junior Women's Club Holiday Fair, as well as some money that was saved from last year. This project was a lot of fun to put together and to complete, and I think I can speak for all of the girls when I say it feels really good to give back to our community and help better our school. We want to continue to provide these products and complete more projects just like this one, so I hope to see you all at the Crafty Panther Student Council is hosting on April 14th. We will be selling class color macrame keychains to raise funds to continue to make an impact. Thank you and have a good evening. Is there any questions?
No. It's a great,
Awesome.
great program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. My name is Taylor Stempson, and I am the second freshman representative for SAC. Tonight, I'll be talking about the Polar Plunge. I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but if not, let me briefly explain. The Polar Plunge is a fundraiser held to raise money for the Special Olympics, a sports organization for people with special needs. This organization helps so many special needs people be able to participate in sports when they may not have had the resources to do so previously. The fundraiser assists in making all of that happen. By getting donations, it keeps the sporting events free and accessible. Tonight, I'd like to discuss some ideas to increase participation. Marlborough has always had a pretty good turnout, but when it comes to charity, more is always better. Ms. Klein did a great job with getting the word out and getting people excited about the event, but I think we could add some more context on how much the fundraiser really helps. Last year, MHS raised $4,581, and this year we beat that and raised around $5,366. This fundraiser is for an incredibly good cause, and many students don't know much about how impactful their participation can be. In my case, before researching it, I barely knew what the Polar Plunge was, despite seeing flyers around the school. For next year, I think having a brief slideshow on the background of the plunge and what it helps achieve. Sorry, teachers. Continuing with the social media posts is good, but also making signing up more convenient. On flyers and social media posts, adding a link or QR code that can be quickly scanned or copied by a student on their way to class. In addition to flyers, having a couple students from Student Council make posters that can easily be seen, much like the anti-nicotine ones we have up already. Overall, the Polar Plunge is for a very good cause that helps so many people, and participation and donations are its foundation. If increasing both of these things could help even one more person, I believe it's worth the effort. I look forward to working with Student Council to help increase participation for next year, and I'll now take any questions if there are any. Thank you.
I just want to say I was hoping you were going to do it in your accent from the weekend. For which you did a great job. So.
Next time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So moving on, so we will go to, yeah, I'm with you. The robotics team.
Honorable Mayor, Superintendent Murphy, and members of the school committee. I'm Joanne Mahoney, a retired middle school 6th grade science teacher, and I'm presently the advisor coach of the middle school robotics program. I had the privilege in February to bring these young men to Bridgeport, Connecticut for the regional competition. It was amazing. But before I talk a little bit about it, I know that Atul had given you an update on what the game was about. I'd like to take a minute for those new members of the committee to kind of hear a little bit about the history of the robotics program here in Marlborough. It started in 2011. Jeff Gay, who was the engineer on the STEM team, along with me at the middle school, got a grant from the event partners at Quinsigamond Community College. I joined him a year later, and because we were both on the STEM team, it was a great partnership. Jeff retired this past year, so I have a new partner now who is equally as great. We were able to field 6 teams of 4 students each at the middle school, and in 2014, our team, one of our 7th, 8th grade teams, won regionals and actually got to go to the world competition, which at the time was at Anaheim, California. Thank you to Mrs. Murphy. And once that 7th and once that 8th grade team got to the high school, they really wanted to continue. And the high school program was not the VEX robotics program. It had been a different one, First Robotics, which is, they do at Asabat. And after a year, we were able to get a coach to do VEX at the high school. So the high school teams have continued since then. The core values of the robotics program, VEX, it's called VEX, and it's a worldwide organization. And at the World event, our teams from all over the world. They're student-centered, teamwork and collaboration. The students code, they program, they build, they implement ideas, and they make many, many iterations to the robot, as I'm sure the boys will tell you when they show you their robot. It's a true STEM activity that continues through 6th grade up to 12th grade at the high school. Back to the regional competition. It was amazing to be there with these young men. There were 100 teams, the best teams of Southern New England. And throughout the 2 days, they had 10 matches, 5 each day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have to be there at 7 in the morning and you don't get back to your hotel until 5. And the matches, sometimes you have a half hour, sometimes you have 2 hours between your matches because there were so many teams. They jockeyed back and forth. That whole first day, they were in first place. And as the 2 days ended, when the 2 days ended, they ended up in 3rd place, which gave them a wonderful opportunity to choose a high-scoring alliance partner. And with that, I introduce to you Team X Squared. Before I do, 1 second, Soluchina, Atul's mother, was my driver, and she was the chaperone that came along with us, so I do want to thank her. So here is Atul, Andy, and Leo. Go ahead.
So,
Atul, you need to talk in the microphone so they'll be able to hear you on TV.
okay, you can see this is a robot. It's pretty simple, or for us, because we've worked on it for so long. I think we know like the in and outs of every nut and bolt over the past like couple of months, but it gets to that point. We have a drive base, so we can actually drive. So, sorry, drives. And there's a couple other things if Leo wants to continue.
Okay, so the robot, we initially started making a robot in around last year during the summer of 2023. The game was just started, so we originally had a catapult on the robot. I went on the drivetrain with an intake. Right now it's turned into a kicker. So basically it's a motor attached to tooth. It's geared, I believe, 1 to 3. Yeah, 1 to 3. Giving it like slightly slower rotation, but it has more torque, so it can pull it back more. There's a bunch of rubber bands attached to the kicker, so torque is much needed. Basically, it helps us launch the balls from across the side, but that became pretty obsolete midway through the season. So intake. Oh yeah. So in our front, we have our intake. Basically, it lets us pick up balls and drop them off on the field. We have gears with rubber bands attached to them, so we can capture the odd shape of the game element. It's an acorn shaped, which made an interesting designing challenge because unlike a spear or a or like disc like last year, the shape was like very irregular, so it was pretty difficult to be able to properly grasp it. So that's the design we came up with. And what tool just tried to open was our hanging. A tool did talk about a hanging element in the game earlier, where you could, if you hang higher, you could get more points. Right now, there's not enough air pumped in the pneumatic system, so it won't open up. Yeah.
That's like 40 pounds of air and like 22 rubber bands.
Yeah. We also have wings on the side of the robot powered by pneumatics. They open up and allow you to push more balls in. Yeah, and the left one's jammed right now.
There goes the irregular ball.
Yeah. Vertical wing that tried to fashion last minute for hang. That didn't work. So, could be a reason why we didn't get to semis. So, yeah.
So I want to talk on the core values that robotics represents. It represents teamwork, team building, and how through many iterations and perseverance, you can come up with a final product. So teamwork is not only within like one school, it's also a connection between multiple schools. What I saw at the regionals competition was truly amazing, as whenever we needed something, we could always ask another team, and almost 100 of the time they would either look for it or try and help us in any other way in trying to find the pieces, which greatly helped us reach quarterfinals and get third place at the end. And also, obviously, this is not our final. Obviously, this was not our first iteration of the robot. It went through multiple. We used to have a blocker that went like all the way up to here. But obviously, like life, the meta changes and evolves. So the meta changed from like a really high blocker because everyone was shooting the ball over, to more like inserting the ball straight into the intake and then just driving across for a more safer 5 points is what the scoring ball will get you. So that's why we decided to change to a more fast, more light, and the ability to go over the middle bar robot instead of a high blocker and defensive.
Any questions?
I have a question. When you start the robot, is it just a bunch of pieces, or is there like a base that you're building onto? You start with just like millions of pieces and come up with that?
Yeah, basically. There are templates to like more basic beginner-friendly robots, but with the use of like CAD and everything, we're able to make it a lot streamlined process to get from like all those metal pieces to like an actual robot. They do give us like a computer, that tiny little thing with the screen, as well as like basic motors. And we can only use 8 of those motors, so combining those with their brain and we can code it, we can build anything we want, basically.
So you design it on CAD and then you code to program the computers to tell it what to do?
Yeah. We have an autonomous period, so that's the first 15 seconds of every match. In that, there's like a way to score more points and stuff, which we got pretty much every single time. I think we had the most consistent autonomous in the whole competition. It was great. It was just great to see it finally working. It's auto-correcting, so even through its autonomous route, if I like kick it, it'll know that I kicked it, and it can go back to where it was supposed to be. It's really fast. I can't really show it because I need more things, and the ground isn't the mats, so it would really slide a lot. But yeah, for sure. I think when the podcast comes out, you'll all see cool clips of our robot, like running around, scoring points and stuff.
That's great.
So cool.
Yeah. Questions? Yeah.
Is it the podcast from the VEX competition?
No.
What's the podcast?
Miss. Yeah, go for it.
Jill Morin
Oh.
did a podcast featuring the boys, and I gave a little commentary, but she then was using some of the footage that I had sent to her from the regionals. So,
Excellent.
this is a high school robot.
Yeah.
The middle school has the exact same game, and yet they build their robots again from bits and pieces. We've got all the materials at the middle school, and theirs is not as robust, let's say, but it does the same game.
Yeah.
So the feeder program from the middle school, and Atul joined us in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So he's been doing this for a while.
And do like the elementary's kids get to see the videos of this, or get to see it so they can get excited about joining?
We're having a recruitment day at the middle school, May 2nd, for the 7th and 8th, for the rising 7th and 8th graders. And then when the 6th graders come up, they will see a video. Those that choose to join will show a video, and they're always looking at videos, YouTubes, and everything to watch the different how a lot of the robots are being built.
It's amazing. That's great.
Anything else?
It seems like it would be a great thing, though, to make sure that we pushed out on social media to make sure that we were getting it to some of the younger kids to be able to see, and their parents, because what an incredible opportunity they could have at the middle school. And, you want to make sure that they know about this opportunity and making a choice about where to go and what to do for their middle school selection. So that'd be awesome.
When the 6th grade, with 5th grade was at the middle school.
Yeah.
They saw it all the time.
Yeah.
I've thought of going to all the elementary schools, but my fear is once the students hear about it, they're all going to want to join. And then
You don't have enough capacity.
the most amount of teams I can field at the middle school is 6.
Yeah.
And so that's 24 students.
Okay.
So we give first dibs to
7th and 8th,
the
and then
students. No, the students that are already there.
Okay.
And now this coming year, it's the 7th and 8th graders, the rising 7th and 8th graders.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and if they continue with us, each year there's a different game. So,
It's exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, Atul, can it come and pick up its ball?
Actually, good point. I don't have to run and grab it.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, that's with the rubber bands. I saw them that time. Yeah.
So, now I don't have to grab it.
See? That's why you make robots, right? To make your life easier.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks for coming.
Okay. Move on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mayor Christian. There's been a change in the Marlborough extended shelters. We were recently notified by the state that on April 4th, 2024, 29 families currently sheltered at the extended stay will be transferred to another shelter outside of Marlborough. After April 4th, there will only be one extended shelter in Marlborough. Any students being relocated will have the option to transfer to the new school system, or they are welcome to remain in the Marlborough Public Schools. I wanted to give an update on our district-wide goal to reduce chronic absenteeism. All members of the Marlborough Public Schools community have been focused on reducing the percentage of students classified as chronically absent from school. A student is classified as chronically absent when they have missed 10% of school days.
There will always be a percentage of students classified as chronically absent due to ongoing medical issues. And we understand that and we know that. Throughout the year, teachers have been reaching out to students that are absent from their class, and school leaders have been meeting with students and families to create plans to improve attendance. Additionally, secondary schools ran attendance academies over February break, and all K-12 schools are inviting students to April vacation attendance academies. These academies are designed to re-engage students in school. Michael Assert, Marlborough Public Schools Data and System Administrator, reported that and that should be March 2024, SIMS data shows our students have shown substantial improvement in their chronic absenteeism district-wide. 1 year ago, our district averaged just shy of 32% chronically absent, while our recently frozen SIMS data puts us at 24%. That gives us a near 8% improvement district-wide. This is not limited to any specific school. For example, Marlborough High School showed improvement in going from just over 40% last year down to 32% year to year. Thank you to all the staff throughout the district for all your hard work re-engaging students. Earlier this month, I also submitted a draft Student Opportunity Act plan. I did not receive any suggested changes or edits to the plan. Later tonight, I am requesting that you approve that plan so that it can be submitted to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education by the April 1st, 2024 due date. And then finally, I added a placeholder for the FY 25 where'd that go? Budget for discussion on, in case the committee wanted to have a discussion on the FY 25 budget. I am going to be requesting later tonight that the school committee approve the proposed budget of $76,252,690 so that we can move forward with a notice of public hearing. We are trying to accelerate our timeline so that the city can have the approved school committee budget within their budget timelines. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Scassa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Friday and Saturday, March 15th and 16th, I attended a two-day seminar led by the Center for the Study of Sport and Society at Northeastern University. It was at the MIAA-MSA facility in Franklin. The facilitators delivered anti-racism, violence prevention, and toxic speech prevention training to a group of administrators from multiple cities and towns in the Commonwealth. Through the context of the training, school district administrators and coaches learned more about how implicit and unconscious bias, interpersonal violence, and dehumanizing language can create a toxic sports environment. Furthermore, through analysis of scenarios and facilitated discussion, the training provided us with preliminary skills on a toolkit of basic knowledge to share with our coaches as we plan to develop a sustainable action plan. For instance, after an overview of the toolkit, we learned techniques for confronting problematic behaviors that included strategies such as questioning the intent, interrupting, humanizing the target, and expressing personal discomfort. Mr. Rudzinski and I met last Tuesday, March 19th, and we have outlined some next steps as they pertain to annual trainings for coaches and systems that promote and reinforce healthy competition in our gymnasiums, on our fields, and on the bus rides to and home from games. Once Mr. Rudzinski and I have completed a draft of action steps for the upcoming school year and sports seasons, I will ask Mr. Rudzinski to join me at a future school committee meeting so we can discuss in more detail. What was covered during this training should not only lead to a deeper understanding on racial identity and bias, but also present new tools and ideas to move toward effective action. As the trainer stated to us, what's said here stays here, what's learned here leaves here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I'm very grateful to hear that this is out there. It's been a problem, a chronic problem for years, and has kind of been pushed under the carpet for a long time, and I think it's...
You mean in sports in general?
In sports in general.
Not necessarily Marlborough.
No. I'm just in general. Yeah. And we hear about the stories all the time at confrontations, students, parents, whatever the case may be. So it's nice to hear that they're providing you with a toolkit to work on it, because it's not an easy conversation to have, but at least it can give you some tools to help with that conversation. So very happy to hear about it.
Thank you.
Yes.
This was actually also been pushed out by the MIAA, so we've had a lot of discussion at the board of directors level, and they have been partnering with Northeastern University on trying to push this out much further. I'm really grateful that you were able to go. I'm hopeful that we might at some point be able to invite them here, because I think the impact that this outside group, if you will, can make on trying to speak to some of our coaches and, Mr. Rosinski, and kind of pushing it out would be good. We've been really fortunate. I know that we've, as a district, won the sportsmanship award a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly fabulous, because as you are very correct, there are a number of different situations that we see in the papers and on social media all the time. And we were discussing at our last meeting, unfortunately, some coaches, through some of the recent playoffs and tournament situation, that, frankly, I think were just letting themselves get away with the situation. And they were forgetting what we're doing it for, and it's for the kids. And for the kids, teaching them skills for life, not about that moment. And I just really hope that we can continue as a district to make sure that we're pushing the appropriate way of how to be competitive, but in a kind way, if that makes sense, and doing it the right way with good sportsmanship. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you saying that, and teaching and learning is in my title, and many of you know that sports is very important to me, and I think that there's so much opportunity to teach and learn within the context of sports. So I was happy to be there. I made an effort to make connections with people that were there, and I would be more than happy to accelerate this work in Marlborough Public Schools, or do my best to help do so.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? If not, we'll move on to the Director of Finance and Operations, Mr. LaFleur.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I feel like a broken record with some of these items, but we'll keep at it. Our food service participation has increased once again, believe it or not. Year over year for the month of February, breakfast participation is up by 9% of our student population, and lunch by 6%. This is really unheard of here. It's amazing. In fact, we're going to recognize the JARC food service staff Thursday at 2 p.m. if anyone's interested in attending, because they hit 80% for the month of February. Another amazing stat. Again, on my broken record theme, bus transportation is still a problem. When I wrote this Thursday or Friday, we had 3 routes without an assigned driver and a 4th on medical leave, and 4 drivers in training. I was notified approximately 1 p.m. today that we had one pass the test this morning. Woo! So now we're only down 3. Included in tonight's packet is a budget transfer for some very small amounts at the request of the principal and department head. This is a financial housekeeping entry only, and for your information, no vote is required, as we're not transferring between salary and non-salary accounts. The district continues to track in line with the fiscal 24 financial plan with no issues to report. A copy of the latest year-to-date budget report is also included in your packet for review. And we had not closed out the MSBA issue last month, so I'll do it tonight. The district and the city have completed all required items for the eligibility period of the Richer School project. We have been informed that our project will be on the April 24th agenda of the MSBA Board of Directors. We are hopeful that the board will vote to invite Marlborough into the feasibility phase of the project. As the committee is aware, the City Council voted to fund the feasibility study at a late December meeting. Any questions?
Thank you. Seeing none?
Thank you.
Okay, move on to item number 7, the acceptance of minutes. That is a vote. Do we have a motion?
Sorry. Motion to accept the March 12th, 2024 minutes.
Motion's on the table and seconded. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, public comment. Going once. Public comment going twice. Seeing none, public comment third time. Seeing none. Moving on. Action items to report. The Student Opportunity Act Plan.
As mentioned earlier, the new 3-year Student Opportunity Act Plan must be submitted to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education by April 1st, 2024. I'm asking the school committee to approve the plan so that it can be submitted by the due date.
Motion to approve the Student Opportunity Act plan.
Motion's on the table and seconded. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I want to thank you and the leadership team and everybody who came together, and I know you got input from parents as well. And I think it was a very eye-opening process for a lot, and I thank you for that, because I think you included some of us and that were able to attend, and it supports all the hard work that is being done and needs to continue to be done.
I'd like to also thank the MEA members and all the educators in the district that took the time to also give feedback on our areas and added an additional fourth area that had not been identified at first. So thank you.
So there is a motion on the floor and it has been seconded. Any other further questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on, request to submit fiscal year 25 budget for public hearing.
We have included, we have developed a budget request for FY25 that totals $76,252,690. For FY25, we have held a budget workshop, and I'm now seeking authorization to post the attached hearing notification in the local media. One question we have, based on some outstanding issues, if we should have the public hearing before our next meeting, did we want to have more time for that, or is a regular school committee meeting enough time? We've embedded it into the last meeting. We did not start any earlier. So this is a posting for 7:30 p.m.
So should we make it 7 or 6:30?
7 or 6:30, yeah.
I would be in favor of a 7 o'clock start for the public hearing prior to any discussion.
I'm fine with doing something earlier at 7. I guess I would not want to move it too much earlier, because I do feel like when we've heard some feedback about people trying to attend, to have conversation, they're trying to get home from work and things like that. And I think with it being around the budget, we want to make sure that we provided enough opportunity for it to be a little bit later, that people could actually get here if they choose to want to actually come speak to it. So that would be my...
This is the April 9th meeting.
Yes.
Yes. What has been done in the past?
We've done it multiple different ways. We have, I believe we've posted it at an earlier time, and then the school committee meeting to immediately follow the budget hearing. And I think that's how we posted it.
Sure.
We've also, the last few years, we have just embedded it in the middle of the meeting.
So I guess I'm asking for clarification because I thought tonight's request was for the April 9th meeting for the public hearing, correct? Which is moving the schedule up faster.
Yes.
For the request of the city? Okay.
Just the timeline that was given.
Oh, yeah, the public hearing I have written down for April 30th.
Exactly, but,
That
right.
was our original date. But I think it was a little late for the city.
Okay.
That was this revised.
We need to vote before the 30. By
It
the
needs to
30th.
be forwarded to the city by that last week in April.
Correct.
Right? Yes.
Okay.
I'm presenting the budget ideally May 6th, the city
So
council.
you need it.
Embedded into that and to know.
Do we know when the school committee presents to the city council yet?
It was on the agenda for the 6th, and then the meeting will happen after that. So big middle of May. That's finance that will take care of that. So.
Yep. Okay, so the budget hearing is now
April 9th.
At 7 p.m.
Well, we haven't voted.
Yeah, I mean, I would make a motion that we post, so I get, it's a double motion here. Motion to post for April 9th, the public hearing at 7 p.m. with the proposed dollar amount of the 70. You want to take it in two parts? Okay. So, okay, for the 7 o'clock public hearing, we'll start with that on April 9th. April 9th.
With the school committee meeting immediately following.
Correct. So public hearing at 7 and school committee immediate following.
Motion's on the table for April 9th at 7 p.m. School committee following. Seconded. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none. All in favor? Motion carries.
Okay. Then I'll take the second is the posting to include the $76,252,690, which is a proposed but not approved by school committee budget currently, but for the legality of a posting, the number that's been proposed by the superintendent but has not been voted on to be submitted. But I want to make that clear. So that's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions?
Discussion. So thank you to the administration for the workshop that we had earlier this evening discussing the budget. And I appreciate the situation where you all have brought prioritized needs forward. Thank you. I also understand the situation that you're in, Mayor Christian, with walking into a situation that you have on hand as well. And I recognize that you have a lot of different requests coming your way, as the City Council does. I would be remiss by not saying that after having some of our discussion, I support at least the amount that you have already mentioned tonight, which is the $76,252,690. But I do feel that there were a number of prioritized pieces that we were pushing off, trying to get closer to a percentage number that it seemed like City Council might be more happy with, let's say. But I do feel that there were some items that, in my heart, I feel like they needed to move forward. And so I am not going to be moving forward on approving and saying I want to support that amount, because I would prefer to up that amount. And my number that I would prefer to go with would be $76,616,990. I recognize that I'm not going to make an amendment. I'm not looking for you all to change it, but I am trying to say publicly that I feel that while the City Council has, over the years, been very, very supportive on continuing to fund the Marlborough Public Schools to a great amount. I totally appreciate that. But I think we are in a situation where we need to act now, and I am hopeful that the City Council can look at the amount of money that has consistently been brought in through Chapter 70 and recognize that we are in a position where we need to act fast on getting some supports specifically to help across the district the diversity issues that we have, and we need the funding. So I will not be voting in support of the number at this moment. I would like it higher. So I just want that understood. I am fully in support of the school district needing to address all of the needs, which I know that they will do the best of their ability, because that's what we've done day in and day out. And so thank you very much.
Thank you. So there is a motion on the table by School Committee Matthews for the proposed budget of $76,252,690. Is there a second? Second. Any further discussions? Seeing none. Okay, let's vote. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
It's not a budget vote. It's a posting vote.
This is just for posting.
so 5, 1. Any abstain?
One against.
Abstain and yeah, I abstain and yes, and any 1 no. 511. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All righty, moving on.
Mayor Christian,
Sorry,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
want the public to be aware that if they wanted to view the budget book, it is available online on the MPS website under the district tab.
Thank you. It's a great point. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay, moving on. Acceptance of donations and gifts. It's always the fun part. Alrighty. I do. I was stuck. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Alrighty. First one is the Mass Bay Community College for $4,500. And
Motion to accept.
motion to accept and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. Hope and Comfort for MPS for $500
Motion to accept.
and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. The Homeless Transportation Pilot Foster Care Reimbursement for MPS, $129,739
Motion to accept.
and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. And the last one is the Brookline Center reimbursement for MPS for $70,000.
Motion to accept.
Question? Second.
Question. You had mentioned, Superintendent Murphy, in our earlier meeting that the funding was through the Board of Health. Is the Board of Health?
Department of Public Health is worked
through-
with the Brookline Center reimbursement grant.
Yeah.
Yes, to offset the cost of Cartwheel. And
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had read through that, and then when you said it was the Department of Public Health, I
Yeah, it's a grant
confused,
between,
yeah.
yes.
got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Alrighty, moving on. Reports of school committee subcommittees. Yes, Ms. Kennedy.
Thank you. So the policy subcommittee will meet tomorrow, the 27th, so we can start working through the relettering, renumbering, reorganizing the policy booklet in preparation for the new website that will be coming. So
What time tomorrow?
tomorrow it is posted at 9:30, and we will be over at DEC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Ms.
I just want to give a little update. We have been diligently, hour after hour, with the MEA. We love them. They love us. We have all been working very hard together, and we have progressed. We have made some movement, and we will continue to make some movement. And I just want to thank everybody, because it's been a lot of hours. It's a lot of us have lost a lot of lifetime here. We can't get back. Yeah. But I do want to thank everyone publicly. And I also want to say we have started with the paras, Unit B.
About to start with BTs.
And about to start with BTs. So it's been a busy spring, to say
That it has.
Yes. So thank you.
Any other reports of school committees, subcommittees?
We don't have any other.
Seeing none.
We only have 2.
Just seeing none. Moving forward. Okay. Members Forum.
I reviewed and signed the warrant.
Thank you. All set. Just want to make sure that I recognize you, that's all. Okay. Nothing else from Members Forum?
Catherine?
Yes.
Just wanted to thank a lot of the high school administration, Tom LaFleur as well, and especially the custodial staff for helping with Princess Boutique, which was a great success. We were able to help at least 160 young folks, 155 young folks, and it was a great success and a lot of volunteers. So I really am grateful for everyone's assistance and support of a really great community support activity. And then the second was I really wanted to say kudos to the group supporting both our middle school show and the high school show. Shrek Junior, Shrek Junior and Little Shop of Horrors, both absolutely fabulous. And if you missed it, you really missed it. And I would put on your calendars for next spring both musicals because just well worth it. We have incredible talent, not only with the staff that supports the groups, but the kids participating not only in the cast, but the crew and the musicians, and just fabulous. So kudos to all.
Yeah, I'll share that sentiment. I was able to both productions and by far exceeded my expectations. It was both performances were absolutely incredible. I laughed, I not cried, but I definitely enjoyed both shows. So kudos to the drama and both the high school and middle school and everyone involved. It was truly a good time. But anything else from the members forum? Seeing none.
Motion to adjourn.
There we are. Motion to adjourn at 8:27 is seconded. Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 8:27. Thank